Good morning, students. Today we'll be discussing one of the experiments of physics virtually in a virtual lab. So, I'm Dr. Smita Sharma, Associate Professor in Physics, Government Dungar College, Bikaner, and today, by the help of virtual lab, we'll be discussing first experiment that is related to the statistical mechanics. So for statistical mechanics, the experiment that we'll be trying to perform is related to black body radiation. So first of all, this black body radiation experiment will be performed by the help of a software which is Scilab. So first, introduction of the introduction or aim will be. Our aim will be to verify Planck's law for black body radiation and compare it with Rayleigh-Jeans law at high temperatures and Wien displacement law at low temperatures. And this aim will be achieved using Scilab program. We'll quickly go through a brief overview of what is black body radiations and what are its laws. So, we are aware that a black body is an idealized physical body that absorbs all types of electromagnetic radiations regardless of frequency or angle of incidence, and it is named black body because not only it absorbs the radiation but also in heated state it can emit all sorts of black body radiations. So how can we define black body radiation? It is the thermal electromagnetic radiation within or surrounding a body in thermodynamic equilibrium with its environment emitted by a black body. Now this is intensity distribution curve. The graph that is shown is the graph which was plotted experimentally by Loomer and Pringsheim. They measured the intensity of emitted energy with wavelength radiated from a black body at different temperatures, and then they came out with this type of graph. By looking at the graph, certain interesting facts were made. It was found that at a given temperature, the energy is not uniformly distributed in the radiation spectrum of the body. As you can see, it is not for a particular temperature, it is varying. At a given temperature, the emitting energy has a maximum value for certain wavelength and the product maximum into T remains constant. It was also observed that as the graph increases to a peak and then starts decreasing, the peak value of the wavelength, this wavelength and the temperature, the product of these two always remain constant for all the curves. It was also observed that as the temperature decreases, the curve slightly started flattening up, and the maxima also move towards higher wavelength region. For all wavelength, an increase in temperature causes an increase in energy emission. The radiation intensity increases with an increase in wavelength, and at a particular wavelength it becomes maximum and then it starts decreasing. It was also found that area under each curve represents the total energy radiated over all wavelengths at a particular temperature, and it was found that it was directly proportional to the fourth power of the temperature, and the constant was called Stephen's constant, and the relation relation was further later on came to known as Stephen-Boltzmann law. So this were the experimental evidences. Now in what our aim for today's experiment will be to reproduce this graph, this experimental graph, by using the theoretical aspects that we have studied. So what are the theoretical aspects that we have studied? We'll be seeing it. The main black body radiation laws that we know are Planck's radiation law, Wien distribution law and its displacement law, Rayleigh-Jeans law, Stefan-Boltzmann law, Kirchhoff's law. Out of these laws, Planck's radiation law is the main primary law that governs the black body radiation. As this we have studied, we have not tried it ourselves. So now here in this experiment we'll try out with how we have studied that Planck radiation law is capable of explaining complete black body spectrum, and Rayleigh-Jeans law was unable to explain it, and Wien's distribution law also failed. So here in this experiment we'll actually try and find out whether that the thing that we have studied is okay or not. So this was the brief overview. Sorry. Next we'll see the Scilab brief introduction. So what is a Scilab? Scilab is a free and open source cross-platform numerical computational package and a high-level numerically oriented programming language. So these bulky words I have taken from its site, but generally in simple meaning it is Scilab is a software where you can perform numerical calculation by the help of computer in a easy way, and the language that we use is the high level programming language, which is very easy to use. Now from where it should be obtained, Scilab is released as open source. So what is the meaning of open source? That anyone can use it without getting any license. So its download is free of charge, and so we can easily use it. Now Scilab includes hundreds of mathematical functions. Already prepared mathematical functions are available that small programs have been made and we can use. So our time is on performing certain program, if we want to run, our time is greatly reduced. It allows advanced data structures, and 2D and 3D graphical function can also be entertained in it. So there are many functions that include in Scilab, out of which the thing that we in physics will be needing is the simulation, 2D and 3D visualization. Optimization is very good for us. Statistical techniques, all of these can be done in the Scilab. So we'll be taking one by one. Today we are discussing simple aspect of Scilab. So this was the Scilab's brief introduction. Now we'll start. What is our purpose or objective of this experiment? So our main objective is to find that the Planck law was actually able to explain complete black body spectrum at different temperatures. We will also find that Wien displacement law could work for shorter wavelength only, and Rayleigh-Jeans law could work for longer wavelength only. This we have read theoretically many times, but here we'll actually put the values and try it ourselves, whether it is okay or not. And our sub objective is to install Scilab and make it ready to use because we are using it for the first time, and understanding Scilab and how can we make it work for us. So this is our sub objectives. Before starting the experiment, we'll briefly discuss the theory that will be involved in our experiment. So first of all, the Rayleigh-Jeans law. So Lord Rayleigh used the classical theories of electromagnetism and thermodynamics to show that black body spectral distribution should be somewhat like this. And when he gave this formula, it was found that it agrees with experimental measurements for long wavelength. It predicts an energy output that diverges towards infinity as wavelength grows smaller, and this is a drastic failure, and the failure has become known as ultraviolet catastrophe. So Lord Rayleigh used the classical theories, but he used electromagnetism and thermodynamics both to represent the black body. He tried to explain the black body radiation. In short, we can say Lord Rayleigh was able to reproduce graph to a certain extent, but after some time it starts deviating from its originally what experimental results show. Planck assumed that radiation in the cavity was emitted by sort of oscillators. He used Boltzmann's statistical methods to arrive at the formula that fitted the black body radiation. He gave this formula, and he made two modifications. Rather, it used quantum mechanics. He gave two modifications to the classical theory. He gave that oscillators of electromagnetic origin can only have certain discrete energy, NHF, and they can absorb or emit energy in discrete multiples of fundamental quanta of energy given by E equals to HF. Here F is the frequency, H nu he gave. So this was the Planck's radiation law, and he was able to explain the whole black body radiation by this formula. This we'll with this we'll see. Next is Wien distribution law. Wien approximation is a law of physics used to describe the spectrum of thermal radiation. Actually, Wien proposed its distribution law first of all. Before Rayleigh and Planck gave their laws, Wien, on the basis of classical theory, he gave this distribution law, and he was almost able to explain the black body radiation graph for shorter wavelength, but it started to fail for higher wavelength region, and he was not able to give any explanation for the failure. So half of the graph he was able to explain. This we'll see here also. So this is the theory behind that we'll be using in our experiment. Next, we'll take the procedure and activities for performing the experiment. So for the first step, what we will do, the first and foremost step is the installation of Scilab. Because we are performing this experiment for the very first time, we'll be needing Scilab to install. So Scilab can be easily installed from this site that I have shown here, www.scilab.org, and it is very simple to download. Simply you have to click on the download and it starts downloading. But before downloading Scilab, you have to be watchful. There are two things that you should remember. First of all, you should know your CPU is either 64-bit or 32-bit processor, because Scilab has two different version for 64-bit and 32-bit. So whatever your CPU is, you can download suitably by choosing it. Also, it also provides whether you are using it for Windows or Linux or Macs. So whatever OS you are using, operating system you are using, you should download accordingly. Most of the students might be using Windows, so click on the Windows and it will start download. After downloading, it will take certain few minutes. After downloading, open exe, or it directly promotes to opens a window and directly shows whether this program should be installed. So click on yes, and as it asks, do simply click on next, and it will get installed in a very easy way. When Scilab gets installed, you'll see an icon of Scilab on your desktop, main desktop. Click on it. As you will click on it, a console will open, a window will open, which is called Scilab console. It is simple like any other MS Word window. I'll be showing in the end how it looks like. So Scilab console, as you see in Scilab console, there are many options given, and out of which you will have to click on the applications. When you click on the application, the first option is SciNotes. So click there. By clicking on SciNotes, we can write any program in Scilab. So this will be our first step. First step will be how to install a Scilab, and then open SciNotes. Now next step, before writing any software program, what we want to do, that should be very much clear to us. So I have written all the three, because I want to see all the three behavior of all the three laws for different temperatures and wavelength. So I have written all the three formulas here according to Rayleigh, Wien's law and Planck's law. I have used written LD here for lambda. It was not taking lambda symbol, so I have simply written LD. So it is representing wavelength. So all the three formulas that I'll be using in the program, I have written here. It is not a necessary step, but you should remember before that what you are doing is clear to you. Next step is very much important. We'll have to write the algorithm. What do you mean by the algorithm? Algorithm is generally a certain steps that you follow while writing any computer program. So for an algorithm, what is required? See, we want to write the formula of Planck's law, Rayleigh-Jean's law and Wien's law. In the experiment, I'll show you one more time. See here, if you observe that what we have here, 8 pi is a constant, then k is also a constant, h is a constant, c is constant. So certain values here are constant, and some of the values like t, LD wavelength, they are variables. So suitably we'll be choosing first of all the constant values that we will be requiring. So first of all, write all given input values of constants h, k, c, etc. We'll take up, we all know all these three values. We'll be taking, write down on a paper h, k, c values. Then we'll be choosing our temperature, for which we'll be plotting graph in Kelvin. Different values you can choose. I have chosen here 1000. I'll show you afterward 1000, 1100, 1200 and so on. Three values I have chosen. You can choose any value. Now for high level language, there are certain commands to define the range. To define the range from where you want to plot the graph till where, the command that we will be using is linspace. This will define the range, as you will observe in the program. Because we have to plot graph for the same type of calculation is to be made for many times, because we'll be changing wavelength slowly and the graph will be producing. So we'll be producing a graph. We'll be using use for loop for discrete number of particles, and give for loop for temperature also, because we will be plotting three graphs will try to plot at different temperatures. So one for loop will help us to describe temperature, and another for loop graph will describe as the values will be changing as the wavelength changes. Next, in the program we'll be providing all the three equations regarding the three laws, and then we'll be plotting all the three calculated values so that we can easily observe through a graph. For this we'll be using subplot command and plot the graph. We'll be plotting four types of graph. First graph will be Planck's using Planck's law at different temperatures. Second graph we will be plotting for Rayleigh at three different temperatures. Next, third graph we will be comparing Planck and Rayleigh law, and the last we'll be comparing all the three laws. So this will be all this we'll be using. This is our all short layout what we will want to do in the program. Now this is our Scilab program. Here CLC and CLF simply clears the screen if there is any additional data previously written. Initially I have written all the constant values that are provided to me. Then I have given two for and loops for temperature and wavelength. Then I have written all the three Planck's law, Rayleigh-Jeans law and Wien's distribution law equations, so that they can be moved again and again in the loop to give us the proper graph. All this I have written for the plotting of the graph. This you'll have to read step by step, and if there is something you are not able to grasp, you can ask me. So these were the four steps that we'll be taking up. Now the observations and the calculation. After we have made the program, we save the program and execute it. When we execute the program, see here I have given a screenshot of what I have got. I have written this program in SciNotes, as you can see. I've written this program, and when I execute this program with the help of this button, simply it gives save and execute. I get 4 sets of graph. First graph, as you can see, is the Planck's law. All this I haven't done anything. I have simply written this program, and this graph has been automatically made by Scilab. It is obvious that I have described all the features that you should write here. I have drawn Planck's law for 3 temperatures, 1000, 1200 and 1400, and as you can see, the graph, nature of the graph is same as the experimental graph. So by this we can say that Planck's law was able to explain the whole black body radiation. Rayleigh law has been also plotted for 3 different temperatures, but as you can see, it only provides the higher wavelength region. It doesn't provide the lower wavelength region. I haven't plotted for lower wavelength region, but it start tending towards infinity, so it will not so this is ultraviolet catastrophe. Next, I have compared Planck and Rayleigh law. Here, as you can see, that Planck's law is this and Rayleigh is this. So Rayleigh is moving towards infinity. It is becoming parallel. So it will never follow this track. So this is the failure of Rayleigh graph. And in the third, we can see all the 3 Wien graph. Wien was able to explain the shorter wavelength, but it starts deviating when it for a higher wavelength region. So this is the 4 graphs that we have already studied and viewed these types of graph, but here we have actually placed the values and then we have made these graphs by the help of computer. And the theory that we have studied up till now is correct. You can also change the temperature. Here I have defined the temperature 1000, 1200, 400, 1400. You can change this temperature and draw graphs for different range also. So this was the graph pattern that was observed in the program. Now what observations were made? By observation made that it was from the first graph, it was clear that Planck's law fully explained the black body spectrum at different temperatures. In the second graph, it was Rayleigh-Jean's law, but it was in complete disagreement with the experimental data for shorter wavelength. This failure is also called ultraviolet catastrophe because energy density tends to infinity after visible region or in ultraviolet region. It was observed from the third graph that comparing Rayleigh-Jean's law and Planck's law, there is deviation between the 2 curves. Rayleigh-Jean's law used classical physics to explain this spectrum, and Planck's law used the concept of quantum mechanics. So we can see that Planck's law, since Planck's law was able to explain it in a better way, so we can say that quantum mechanics is more able to explain the concepts of physics. Wien's law, as we see from the fourth graph, that Wien's law is in good agreement with the experimental results for shorter wavelength, but it deviates for a longer wavelength. So these were the following observations that were made as we draw the graph. So what do we conclude? We conclude that Planck's law was able to explain the blackbody spectrum by using the concept of quantum mechanics that suggested that energy exchange between radiation and matter is not continuous. Indeed, it is discrete. So this was the basic concept. And what we have done, by using Scilab program, we were able to depict difference of all 3 laws in proper and easy manner. Finally, if you want to further study this black body radiation in a proper manner, you can always consult this. I have there are many books available, but in this link I have found that black body radiation was explained very nicely in a brief way, so you can always follow these notes. So this was your first virtual lab regarding statistical mechanics. Now I'll show you how you can use the how you can use Scilab. So I'll be showing you how is the Scilab. See, here in my computer I have installed, I have a older version, Scilab 6.00. You now new versions have been arrived. Simply click on it. It has already been installed. It will take few time. It is always easy to use open source software because it provides all the facilities, and it has proper documentation also. If you are stuck in something that you are not able to explain, you can always ask the community. So this is Scilab console. It is a simple window where we can write any experiment. It is simple, its use is very simple, like I am writing 4 plus 3 and it gives simply 7 answer. So here you can always, this is a scratch pad where you can do some of the calculation. In order to write the program, we'll have to use some certain applications. Here click on the application and then click on SciNotes. So I have already started, that why it's asking. See, this is the program that I have written. You can simply type this program. It it is written one by one in the line. These lines are automatically written here, and you can simply write it, your program here. Now after writing this program, here execute, save and execute. Because I have written CLC, he is asking that you should clear the console or not. So see here, it starts making the graph, and these are all the graphs that I have received. So in this way you can perform an experiment that you have long been studying theoretically, but now you can actually do it and change it suitably according to your choice. Anything regarding Scilab you want to ask, you can ask me anytime. Thank you.